Andrew is the most extraordinary person, a deeply, deeply gifted photographer who has a real commitment to making photography accessible to as many people as possible. And he's very quick off the mark too, so about half an hour after my friend rang me to say you can expect to hear from Andrew, I got an email from Andrew and Eamon. They're very much a double act. And he explained to me the sort of thing he was trying to achieve, an exhibition for everyone of images by blind and vision impaired photographers. And he was looking for a venue and could we provide him with one? And I said yes straight away. Because the State Library, in its 177 years of existence, has always been here for all South Australians. We've always had wonderful collections that we share with everyone. For us, this is a wonderful opportunity for us to share with absolutely everyone, including some people who have more difficulty than others in experiencing some of the things that we put on display. So we were absolutely thrilled to be able to work with the Disability and Arts Transition team, who've lent extraordinary expertise and experience and knowledge to this process for us to learn about how we can do this properly for people. So the extraordinary technology which is embedded in this exhibition, which allows people to see and to hear and to feel this exhibition, is something that we wish to in the future embed with every single exhibition we do at the State Library. This isn't to be an exception for us, this is to become the norm. It's been a wonderful experience doing all of this. Andrew actually held 2 workshops here in Adelaide in March to bring people into this project. And out of that, 8 images were selected for this exhibition, which has been curated by Gail Mellis, who I'm delighted is here with us this evening, and Martin Sawtell. Both of them from datt have done the most wonderful, wonderful job with pulling all this together. We have tried to do everything we can to make this a very special exhibition for the State Library. datt, the people from datt have been wonderful in training our volunteers at the library, our volunteer guide ambassadors, to be able to take people through this exhibition, explain the exhibition to them, show people how to use all of this technology as well. They've been thrilled at learning all that as well. We're also delighted that this is part of Sala Festival. We've always done something for Sala, and I'm so glad I'm now at the State Library and I can do something for Sala. When I was director at Carrickhill, nearly all our artists were dead, and so we couldn't contribute to South Australian living artists. Once they do a South Australian Dead Artists Festival, then I'm home and hosed. So it's delightful that we can use this to encourage creativity in South Australia and display that creativity. It's a wonderful thing to be able to do. And as an added bonus, you can take reproductions of these images home with you. They are all available for sale, prints of these beautiful, beautiful images, and the proceeds from those sales will help create more projects and more programs for blind and vision impaired photographers in South Australia. This exhibition will have a legacy that will live on and on and on. This is only the beginning of what we can achieve here in South Australia with all of this, and we're just so delighted to have it here. What we're going to do now is, Andrew and Eamon weren't able to be with us this evening, they weren't able to come across from Melbourne tonight, but we actually, through the magic of some of this technology, which I'm hoping, this is where it gets dodgy, we can just announce that here is going to be Andrew behind me on the screen. Please welcome Andrew. Just chat among yourselves.
Yeah, it always works out.
Somebody plugged it in.
Moving right along. It's now my enormous pleasure to introduce the ever-supportive Minister for the Arts, the Honourable John Hill. Thank you, John.
Thanks, Alan. Excuse me. Thanks very much, Alan, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure to be here with you tonight and to be asked to open the Rarely Seen exhibition. Can I also acknowledge the traditional owners of the land, the Kaurna people, and I'd also, of course, acknowledge Alan, the Director of the State Library, who does just a fabulous job for us here in this state, to all of the artists, their friends and family, ladies and gentlemen. Well, as we all know, photography is a way to create, record and analyse, and it still remains one of the most prolific and popular mediums of our age. Sharing photos through albums, email, social networking sites, media and mobile phones is something, of course, many of us take for granted. If you follow me on Twitter, I advise you not to, but if you do, you'll know how much I enjoy posting Instagram photos. Particularly, I'm glad Jim Hallion's here, the head of the Premier's Department, but I take regular photographs of the bridge that's crossing the Onkaparinga River, which will eventually take trains down into my electorate. Photography is a world which typically excludes people with vision impairment. In fact, to be asked to open an exhibition of photographs by blind people did seem something of a conundrum, and you know, it's slightly amusing, and I guess that's the way it's been put. It reminds me, in fact, I read a book recently which it was advocating exercise, and it said you should walk fast enough where you can speak but not sing. And I said to my wife, well, I can do that standing still. So I'm not sure if that quite worked, but that's kind of what it's about. The sort of irony of this is quite interesting. But the Disability and Arts Transition team wanted to crash through that particular barrier. And if you think about it, photography allows people who are blind or who have low vision to capture images of what they cannot see. And they capture images of things that the rest of us can't see too, just judging by the works that are on display. By producing and sharing these images, vision-impaired people gain a new way to communicate. The development of the Rarely Seen exhibition, which is held, as Alan said, during SALA, has involved the work of a large number of organisations and individuals. They wanted to challenge perceptions of the creative capacities of visually impaired people. And I particularly want to congratulate the Disability and Arts Transition team, which has been responsible for coordinating this project and exhibition: Gail Mellis, Kirsty Martinson, Martin Sortel and Cameron Bash. Thank you very much to them, and I think they deserve a round of applause. I'd also acknowledge and thank the Royal Society for the Blind, especially their Leisure and Recreation Officer, Travis Little, and Nikon Australia, who generously loaned the cameras. The exhibition is a result of the partnership between the Disability and Arts Transition team and the State Library, and is an excellent example of our arts organisations working together. And I thank Bev Scott and her team at the Library for their work on this show, and trust that this experience has established a partnership that will last for many years, and Alan's already indicated that that is his intention. I acknowledge particularly the artist who guided the skills development of the participants, Samantha Oster and Melbourne-based blind photographer Andrew Follows, whose dreams for a national movement of blind photographers found a catalyst in the Disabilities and Arts Transition Team's project. Finally, I'd like to acknowledge the artists who took up the challenge to be part of this project. The contributing artists were Bindi Fletcher, Lara Todd, Wendy Todd, Catherine Oates, and the participating artists James Kurtz, Kyra Kim Ton, Franca Lombardi, Catherine McMillan, Joanne Chua, Mandy Flynn, Ros Samariva, and Lawrence Leon Woods. So well done to all of them, and thank them too. I think the works themselves are just extraordinary and really very interesting visual statements and just amazing things that you've done. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the government wants to make the arts more accessible and inclusive for people with disability, because obviously the arts belongs to everybody. And the state government, through Arts SA, made South Australia the first state to establish dedicated funding for people with disability through the establishment of the Richard Llewellyn Arts and Disability Trust. It's good to see Becky there in the background. Nice to see you, Becky. Dedicated funding in South Australia has been a positive for individual artists and has encouraged the growth of a disability and arts culture in our state, and one we're very proud of. So I'm very pleased to officially open the Rarely Seen exhibition, and thank you very much everybody for your participation.
Now, of course, tonight really is all about the artists. And I'd like a representative of the artists tonight, Ros Samavaria, to come forward and tell us a little about her role and her experience in all of this. Ros, please come to the podium.
Hi everybody. You just bear with me because I'm vision impaired and I've had a glass of champagne. And if I may, I will probably thank some of the people that you've already thanked. Welcome to our guest, Minister for the Arts, the Honourable John Hill, Director of the State Library of South Australia, Alan Smith, and ladies and gentlemen. Along with my fellow Shots in the Dark participants, Catherine McMillan, Amanda Flynn, Kyra Kimpton, Joanne Chua, Leon Woods, James Kurtz, Franco Lombardi, and myself, Ros Samariva, I would like to give a heartfelt thanks to the datt team, Disability Arts Transition, for making this exhibition possible and giving us an extraordinary opportunity to challenge ourselves to fulfil our dreams of becoming photographers. We have spent hundreds of hours taking photographs and attending workshops guided by professional artists. During this time, we have formed lasting friendships and kinships as artists. Over the last few months, our mentors, professional blind photographer Andrew Follows and professional photographer and lecturer Sam Oster, have challenged us to become more than a group of vision impaired photographers. They have encouraged us to become artists through the lens. I don't think that any of us ever thought that we'd be a part of a photography exhibition at the State Library as part of the Sala Festival. We are thankful for their knowledge and skill, and we're grateful for their patience. We would especially like to thank Bev Scott and her team for the support they have given to this project. We would also like to thank the project sponsors, Arts South Australia, Nikon Australia, the Royal Society for the Blind, the Community Arts Network, and to the numerous other supporters of this project who have given so generously of their time, we say thank you. Without your help and support, this project would have been half the experience. Sunday afternoons guiding and steering us through the city, keeping us from bumping into each other and the very objects we were trying to photograph. Not to mention settling the confusion of passers-by who were quite astounded. A group of people using long canes, sighted guides and guide dogs trying to take photographs. Part of the wonderful outcomes of this project had 8 living South Australian artists provide their own interpretation of the works. This gives us all a chance to hear someone else's perspective of our work. Thanks to these great artists: Hussein Valdemesh, Annette Bizor, Cindy Drennan, Gary Stewart, Jude Aquilina, Jerry Wedd, Brian Madsen, and driller Jet Armstrong. We, the Shots in the Dark, Rarely Seen participants, would like to give a heartfelt thank you to the datt team for their work in making this project a reality. Gail Mellis, Kirsty Martinson, Catherine Anea, Martin Sortel, and Cameron Bash. Once again, thank you, datt, for encouraging us to change our focus and turn our disability of vision impairment into ability and belief that anything is possible. Please enjoy our exhibition. Thank you.
Yep.
Oh, yes, thank you.
thank you very much, everyone. We'll say hello to Andrew in absentia. He's up in that little square box there somewhere. That's the end of the official part of the proceedings, but we have one more thing to do before I urge you to go out and enjoy the wonderful images and enjoy the hospitality here this evening. Most of you, I can see, have a glass in your hand. I will ask you to raise it in a toast to the photographers. The photographers. Thank you. Good night.